Welcome back. Now we're going to move on to sheets. If you haven't closed out, you do that by clicking on the blue color block here to the left of the title. That'll take you back to the Docs home screen. I'm using a wireless connection at home, so it's about as good as the wired connection at school that you're probably using right now. Alright, there it goes. Once it takes you back to the home screen, you will have the Google Apps icon come right here. Click on it. You're going to choose Sheets this time. Just like before, you probably don't have it up here in your shortcuts yet, so scroll down and find it. If it's not down here, go to Even More from Google, Home and Office, and click on Sheets. If you have to do that, when you get to Sheets, as it opens up, go back to the Apps icon, and you'll have that button that says Add Sheets Shortcut. Go ahead and click that, and then you'll have it up there for next time. Alright, you'll notice the Sheets homepage looks a lot like the Docs homepage. And it's also going to look a lot like the Slides homepage, which makes it easy to get used to and use. Once it finishes loading some that I've already made, we're going to choose the blank document and start a new spreadsheet here. Okay, just like in Docs, change the title. You do that up here on the left where it already says Untitled. Still loading. Gotta love the internet. I'm online, but I'm offline. I have all my bars here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Type in your name. I'll put my name. Jeans Part 2 or Part 2, however you want to do it. And now you have your first spreadsheet. It's got a lot of the same features as Excel, a lot of the same features as Docs. You can do your font changes, that kind of thing. The best part about Sheets, my opinion, in a classroom is to keep track of data. This might be just your data as a teacher, but it also might be when students are completing a task, an experiment, or a quiz perhaps, and you need to keep everything straight, who did what, without having a million pieces of paper to keep up with. You can use Sheets. So here is one way that I use it a lot. You put in student names. I'm just going to put in a few. You can just watch for a second. Like I said, I use initials in anything on the internet just in case. Alright. If you already have the students' names pre-listed or initials pre-listed, then when they finish, say you have question 1, 2, 3, then they can come up and enter their score, or you can enter their score, however you want to do it, or not even score, but answer perhaps. So maybe he says A, C, D, B, and so on. You get it. You might also fill in their data that they collected from an experiment, for example. And that's what I want to show you and have you try with me. So let's go ahead and in row number 2, we're going to put in a student with the initials LL. I'm going to clear out all this extra data I have in here. And in row 3, let's have a student with the initials SM. And then we're going to have just 5 questions pre-filled. I just leave a template with student initials and 5 numbered columns up so that I always have it, no matter what the questions might be, but you could certainly label the questions if you wanted to ahead of time. Alright, so this is up, and of course we don't have any students with us right this moment, so we're going to just put in their data for them. We're going to start with question 1, LL says 15, question 2, she says 5, 6, 10, and 12, SM, 14, 3, 8, 9, and 22. Now you can type in units or something here, but Excel and Sheets both, they don't do really well when you throw in units for some of the cool stuff that you can do with it. So I always just tell my kids, if we're using one unit and it's an Excel spreadsheet or a sheet spreadsheet, then they don't have to type it in, even though I always require them to write it down on their paper or wherever they were calculating it. You might even put CM up here or whatever the unit is. But anyway, that's just one of the little quirks we work with. So now we have a data table. Obviously in the classroom you're going to have a lot more than 2 students, but in the interest of your time, we'll just do 2 for now. One of the really cool things is they've all put in their data. You can get an almost instant graph. So let's say that these numbers represent how many seconds it takes each student to complete task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, and task 5, which could be any kind of task you've created. And they've used a stopwatch, they've timed themselves, practicing that measuring skill. Now let's compare. Let's look at what tasks took the most time, which ones were the easiest, etc. Highlight all the rows and columns that have data, including your header there. Click Insert, Chart. It's going to bring up a box that's going to give you a lot of different options. A bar graph, a line graph, here we go, pie chart. For this instance, a bar graph will work well because these are separate tasks. So I'm going to choose this one here. You can do the stacked, although I think that can be confusing. So for now, let's just use a traditional bar graph, but you could go with any of these depending on what your data was and what you're trying to show. Okay, then you click Insert. Here it is. Boom. You can edit the title if you want, but it's already given you some information. It's already color-coded it. And then you can click on it like a text box and drag it so that you could see, you can put it beside it or below your data table. And there it is. You can look right away. Student LL took a little bit longer on task 1, but man, on task 5 she was a lot quicker, and you can make hypotheses and predictions and all sorts of different educational places to go from there. Alright, so the chart is, in my opinion, one of the coolest options in Sheets, but also just the fact that it keeps everything in neat rows and columns can be really helpful. For your younger students, that may be easier than using docs because you can keep track of where each student's supposed to be, what line he or she's supposed to be writing or typing on. And you can also certainly color code your rows by just highlighting them and filling for the younger students so that it's easier if every other row is blue or whatever like that. Okay, sharing, you can share Excel, or I keep calling it Excel, it's Sheets, but it's like Excel. You can share it just like you would with docs, same exact features. To get your credit for this, go ahead and put me in here and click Done, and that'll send it right on over to me. All right, I will see you back